Some episodes of Suits don't just raise the stakes, they drag the characters into the darkest corners of their lives. Betrayals, breakdowns, shattered loyalties, these moments change the show forever. Here are the top 4 darkest episodes of Suits. Starting at our number 4 spot, we have 25th Hour, the episode where Mike loses everything and Pearson Specter Litt gets ripped apart. Anita Gibbs cornered Mike into a deal. 2 years in prison in exchange for protecting everyone at the firm. And because that's exactly what Mike does, he throws himself on the grenade and signed. The 72-hour countdown began, and those final hours delivered some of the darkest scenes in the series. Harvey tried to save him, pushing every button he knew to undo the deal. But Mike overrode the plea himself. Then Harvey tracked down the jury foreman and learned the truth. The jury had found Mike not guilty. He hadn't just pled guilty, he walked into a prison sentence the jury never wanted to give him. Harvey buried the verdict. Then he tried one last gamble, offering Evan Smith the Liberty Rail files. She didn't take the bait. Evan wasn't looking for compromise. She wanted Harvey cornered and PSL bleeding out. Gibbs didn't want deals either. She wanted Mike, and she wanted the firm destroyed. Harvey's final shot at saving Mike died in seconds. Running out of time, Mike repaired things with Rachel. They chose to get married. But Robert Zane was gearing up for his own war, poaching PSL lawyers with Katrina's help and refusing to bless the wedding. On the wedding day, Rachel stood ready in her dress. The church was full, but Mike did what he always does when the fire gets too close. He stepped back and burned alone. He walked away so Rachel wouldn't carry the fallout of his choices. When Jessica and Louis returned to the office, they found it empty. The firm she built had been hollowed out overnight. And the episode ends with Harvey and Mike standing outside Danbury, watching Harvey Specter powerless at the gates of a prison. That's why this episode earns its place on this list. At number 3, we have This Is Rome, the moment Louis Litt nearly tears the firm apart after a chain of betrayals from people he trusted most. Fired for committing financial fraud, Louis begged Harvey to let him take 3 clients, a lifeline he desperately needed. But the firm's bylaws, the ones Louis himself wrote, made it impossible. Still, Harvey promised to talk to Jessica. Jessica refused instantly. Years of loyalty meant nothing to her in that moment. Louis's entire career was reduced to a glowing recommendation, and it broke him. Harvey still tried to help, even arranging an interview in Boston near Sheila. When Louis professed his love, she shut him down. In that moment, Louis understood the nightmare. There was nothing left to hold on to. When Harvey discovered Louis skipped the interview, he was furious. Mike tried a different angle, convincing Robert Zane to consider Louis. Zane agreed, if Louis stole a client from Pearson Specter. Katrina joined him, and together they targeted Harvey's struggling account, VersaLife. Louis stopped asking who he might hurt. He aimed straight at the firm he once bled for. Ripping VersaLife away was a punch to the gut. Mike and Harvey had to break the merger's spine just to pull the client back. Later, when Mike visited Louis with the news, Louis praised Mike's legal mind, then casually asked about the Order of the Coif, the honor only real Harvard graduates earn. Mike froze, and in that pause, Louis saw everything. Jessica uncovered Katrina's betrayal and forced her to resign. The next morning, Louis confronted Donna, then stormed into Jessica's office ready to expose the firm to the police. Jessica admitted everything, refused to apologize, and waited for his bluff. But Louis wasn't bluffing. He didn't just want his job back, he wanted his name on the wall. Nobody expected Louis to be the one swinging the hammer, but Jessica's cold dismissal lit the fuse that blew the firm apart. Coming in at number 2 is Faith, an episode built on trauma, guilt, and the childhood moments that shaped Mike and Harvey into the men they became. We see young Mike learn that his parents died in a brutal car crash, and Father Walker trying to pull him back from a path filled with all the wrong escapes. But grief had already taken hold. No rules mattered. As an adult, Mike returned to Father Walker, looking for someone to tell him where the line actually was. He confessed to practicing law under a lie, and despite all the good he'd done, Father Walker told him the truth. Do what's right. Mike gave Harvey his resignation. Moments later, plainclothes agents arrested him for conspiracy to commit fraud. Meanwhile, Harvey was unraveling in his own way. Therapy with Dr. Paula dragged him back into the house where he watched his mother cheat, watched his father break, and watched his younger brother fall apart, a wound Harvey never figured out how to close. Those memories didn't stay in that house. They followed him into every decision he ever made. So Harvey struck a deal. If Forstman pulled support from Hardman, Harvey would resign. At the firm, Jessica faced a vote of no confidence. Lewis tried to uncover what Hardman had on Jack Soloff, but ended up threatening Hardman instead. And Hardman's secretary recorded everything, turning it into blackmail. Harvey returned just in time with proof that Forstman pulled out. The partners kept Jessica in power, and Lewis led the vote. But Harvey stepped down regardless, and Mike had already quit. Despite everything Jessica fought for, the firm she'd held together for years was finally breaking in her hands. At number 1, we have Breakpoint, the episode where Donna is emotionally crushed and fired for protecting Harvey. Mike worked the case of a young tennis prodigy trying to break free from a father who treated his career like property, while Tanner attacked the firm with the resurrected Coastal Motors case. Donna held the file that could destroy Harvey. She stood over the shredder, holding the one document that could end Harvey and herself. Mike walked in before she could pull the trigger. Something was off, but she brushed him away. The firm believed Harvey had never received the document, so Jessica hired Allison Holt to defend him. They were confident, unaware of the secret Donna carried. Later, Mike followed Donna into the shredding room and saw it. Donna with the file in her hands, seconds away from destroying it. She confessed under pressure, and Mike gave her an ultimatum: tell Harvey, or he would. Donna tried, but Hardman and Allison stormed in first, interrogating Harvey. Donna froze. One wrong word would bring the entire case crashing down. When Jessica handed Harvey an affidavit stating he'd never received the document, Mike spilled coffee on it. Harvey knew instantly. Mike confessed the truth. Harvey confronted Donna. She admitted everything. She shredded the document after the disastrous deposition. She thought she was protecting him. He told her she had only set him up to fall. Harvey confessed everything to Jessica. While they figured out the fallout, Mike discovered the prodigy lied about abuse and ripped the settlement apart. Because even on his worst day, he couldn't back a lie. Meanwhile, Tanner went for a pound of flesh, millions in damages, Harvey stripped of senior partner status, and reported to the bar. Hardman had no problem feeding Harvey to the wolves. Jessica refused. She removed Allison and chose to gamble on Harvey. But she couldn't save everyone. Donna paid the price. Watching Donna pack her things while Harvey stood helpless was one of the most painful moments in Suits. This concludes the list of the top 4 darkest episodes in Suits. Subscribe for more videos like this one.